The reformed husband wants to start fresh with his wife and have a kid to build a family, but tonight she spills a jaw-dropping secret that popped up while he was behind. She was shocked to find herself pregnant during his imprisonment. But Wendy struggled financially, so she and her mom signed adoption papers. Now, husband Porter, like a kid in a candy store, raced to the government to complain, claiming he knew nothing of the surprise gift. To his wildest dreams, he never could have imagined that he'd become a father to a 6-year-old kid. However, Porter had no inkling at all. His son Joey was living like a little prince with his adoptive parents, but the little guy had no clue about his epic plot twist. Adopting mom Molly was teaching him to paint while dad Jack strummed his guitar, and their home was as cozy as a warm hug. Little Joey had seen sights that would make grown-ups jealous, but deep down, he knew home was where the heart is. Likewise, he was his parents' pride, so when they heard Wendy and her husband wanted him back, his foster parents panicked. Wendy and her husband prepped, renovated, and filled the house with toys like a festive celebration. But when the inspector showed up, he was like, "Nice try, but the sparkle of a shiny house doesn't hold a candle to the kids' actual needs." The couple was left speechless as the inspector bluntly put it, "I see you've put in the effort, but this kid isn't just a trophy you can whisk away." Subtitles. He pointed out that the visitor came here from another world. Have you ever thought about what this means to him? They were clearly aware of the environment Joey originally lived in and knew they could never provide such a quality of life. Ever since the news about Joey possibly leaving, Molly was a jittery wreck, needing to clutch Joey tight just to close her eyes. Jack was hustling for a lawyer, but the lawyer was a total buzzkill, telling them that chances of winning were about as good as winning the lottery. Instead of beating around the bush, Jack figured, let's get creative, and called up a congressman buddy for help. He wanted his buddy to pull some strings, just to keep Joey by their side. But his friend had to shake his head, saying laws were the boss, so he was absolutely powerless to help. A few days later, the court decided Joey needed a reunion with his biological parents. Jack broke the news, saying it was a little journey to Ohio, and Joey fully assumed mom and dad would tag along. But the couple clearly told him it was a solo trip. When Joey's face showed fear, Molly's heart chattered. Jack scooped Joey up in a comforting hug and tried to reassure him. Don't worry, the inspector will say Porter and Wendy are just friends at first, then later drop the bomb on them being the new parents. The couple strongly resented the plan. Molly challenged the inspector, got kids. Jack shoved him out. The inspector replied, "Hey, don't shoot the messenger. This is court-mandated stuff. Next time it will be the cops knocking." Just then, Joey came trotting down the stairs. Molly resignedly told him they were off to a place, trying to put a happy spin on it. Instead, he clung to her like a koala, causing Molly's tears to flow like a river. The three of them embraced. Joey was torn, but he knew this next stop would be quite the adventure. As the sound of a car rolled in, Porter and Wendy were buzzing with excitement. The kid was finally home after 6 long years. Wendy was all eyes on Joey, spotting Porter's eyes in him, and they beamed at him as if he were royalty. After 6 long years, Wendy found it enchanting to see how much the little dude had grown. Seeing his boy for the first time, Porter squatted down to introduce himself, but Joey cautiously stepped back. The inspector chimed in, saying, "These folks are your new friends, and you better mind them." With that, he left the two of them alone to have more chat. Porter tried to break the ice, showing Joey how to build a tree house, and they soon hit it off. Wendy also came over and offered cookies, making the atmosphere even warmer. The trio chatted like old pals, with Wendy asking Joey what he loved to do, and without missing a beat, he proclaimed, "Going out to sea." Joey bragged about being a captain at home, making them realize his adoptive parents really had given him the royal treatment. Wendy offered him a bath, but Joey was having none of it, longing for his comfy bubble bath back home. Porter, being the softy he is, bought into his request and said, "All right, no bath this time." But first, he had to wash his hands and face. As Wendy wiped his face, she studied his cute little features closely. After Joey dozed off, Wendy crept out and found Porter outside, holding 2 glasses of grape juice, ready to toast formally whenever Porter got his grape juice had turned into a party animal, but this time, Wendy was on high alert. Porter chuckled, time to celebrate this big day. But Wendy was still watching like a hawk. Meanwhile, Joey tossed and turned, missing Molly's nighttime company. Wendy empathized with Molly, knowing well how much she must be hurting too. Watching Joey grow from a tiny tot tugged at Molly's heartstrings, just like Wendy was feeling right now. Finally back at home, Joey excitedly shared his adventures with his adoptive parent. However, Joe's storytelling made the couple uneasy. They feared he was getting way too cozy with Porter and Wendy. Jack resolved to have a talk with Porter, putting some pressure on him.